Coffee, 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 coffee.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another fine episode of Who's That Anime? We're not drinking coffee. I do have a cup of tea here, but I'll show
I've
you.
got Pepsi.
Yeah,
I've had too much coffee today.
hence why there was a coffee.
Yeah. My giant bomb mug here has seen many a cup of coffee, and one jammy cup of tea. So
Jammy cup of tea.
yeah, so I can't remember what brand of tea bag it is, but there's a brand that does jam toast flavored tea,
All right, okay.
and it's pretty good.
Jam toast flavored tea.
Yeah, Yorkshire tea. That's who it is that does it.
All right, okay. That's
And yeah,
wow.
it's surprisingly good.
Nope.
Not too sweet, and definitely does have like a hint of jam. So
I'm just a black cup of tea. Good black tea. When people say drink black tea, they think I mean with no milk. But no, I like milk in it. Black tea is
you
like,
like milk in your black tea?
yeah, it's like Tetley. Tetley's black tea.
Yeah, like English breakfast. Almost.
No.
It's almost the same thing, though, right?
No. English breakfast
No?
is weak. Weak.
Oh, okay.
So you gotta have proper stewed for half an hour, dark as your soul tea.
See, this is why it takes you, and you're when I'm going to make a cup of tea, and then you come back 5 hours later.
Exactly. It's
The tea is now cold, but it's very dark.
and it's ready.
It's ready to drink.
Technically, it only takes about 5 minutes to do it, because otherwise it is cold, and then the infusion process has stopped.
Weakened. Yeah, lessened certainly. I've made a lot of I made quite a bit of iced tea for a while.
No.
And I did it like just bottled tea bags, and lemon peel and slices.
Okay.
It was all right actually. I was relatively impressed.
I am.
Oh, and some sugar. It was sweetened, so
Yeah. Got to put that some sugar in that stuff, man.
otherwise it'd be rather tart and rather strong,
Yeah.
rather floral.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. We've made it to episode 5.
Mhm.
Episode 4. Before it was not our favorite one. Coming down off a pretty good 3-episode span. Not terrible, definitely still good, but just not I think what we'd come to expect of the show so far. But here we are with episode 5, Child of Blessing.
Oh, child of blessing. Yes. The blessed
Yes.
child.
Yes.
So it starts off with a kid and its mother praying to the Almighty God.
Yeah, coming in over the old radio.
Yeah, little Tanoid wireless.
Yeah.
And then I think that's basically the start. And then
That is, yeah, I think it pretty much goes to intro at that point.
yeah.
It's actually I kind of I must admit I kind of like that vibe. It was very a very interesting lead in to the episode, so I was definitely invested almost immediately. So
All right.
it's pretty nice.
Yeah. And then next they kick into, I think, the car, and then I think they hear that they're wanted.
Yes.
They're now accomplices of Vash the Stampede.
Wanted dead or alive.
Yeah. And
like that Bon Jovi song.
Yeah. So they flips the channel over to the religious channel.
Yes, they do.
Which,
again, which he says is like, oh, this is the kind of crap you get out here.
Yeah. Yeah, because Meryl's like, what the fuck's this? Weird.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of stuff like this.
Yeah. And then she says she feels it's so hot well because it's really warm. So, what's his name? Roberto decides to tell of a horror story about a monster who killed everyone. And then
to cheer her up and make her feel cool, I guess.
To cool her down, yeah, because it was a chilling story.
Chilling story.
He's so hot after that chilling story. It's just like, what?
It was a very odd lead-in to that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fair enough.
Yeah, what?
He gets very dramatic during that storytelling as well.
He was quite energetic for once.
Oh, yeah.
And then Meryl got distracted at that point and then nearly ran into a slug. She seems to get distracted driving quite a lot.
I am noticing a pattern. What with, the hit and run almost in the previous episode as well.
Yeah.
Which we should, of course, mention, he's in the back of the car too now. They're all there.
Yeah, they're all together again. So this car comes to stop and see a big giant worm slug thing in the desert, and Wilfred comes like, "Oh wow, that's some punch."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What? Oh, it looks like he's been dead for a while, so doubt it's knives. So let's keep going."
I wouldn't really want to take that bet, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's like, probably wasn't knives. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't really want to be anywhere near him, to be honest. So
it's been long dead. So
yeah.
And then Vash is staring off into the distance at a town, and then starts wandering to the town, and then Wilfred's like, "Here, come back," and then it's like, "God damn it!" It follows him, and then they all kind of follow them, each other, and walk to this town.
Yup.
Which
looks like a ghost town.
Yeah, it looks like a ghost town, but at the same time, right? They have a perfectly functioning car that would got them there.
Yes. They could have been gone.
Yeah, they could have gone there in like a minute instead of like the hour of trek, I think it was, because the town's quite far away in the distance.
Yeah. Of course, Vash is drawn to it.
Yeah.
And they are curious as to why he's drawn to it, of course.
As always. And then he they get there and they go, "What's that?" "Oh, that's a wind generator." "You mean they didn't have a plant?" It's like, "Yeah, I didn't have a plant." And then I think Wilfred just basically slags off as a stupid thing.
He does. He's like, that's really stupid. But that's how it's always worked. It's always been stupid.
Yeah. Telling how the
what a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't remember him being quite so just moody and dismissive. But it's not bad. Like, I think the character trait fairly suits him, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. And then Vash kind of wanders further into the town, picks up some roping that's covered in like sand, and goes, "Oh." And then the bullets start flying from above.
A whole bunch of them.
Yeah. And then Vash kind of runs and hides and dodges the bullets, where Merle kind of jumps out and goes, "You alright?" And then Merle drags her back and goes, maybe don't jump into the bullets. You might be hiding. And he says, "Oopsie."
Yeah, she seems uh uh not really that fussed about having just kind of, nearly gone to her death.
Yeah.
She kind of goes, "Oh, yeah."
She goes, "Oopsie."
Jeez.
And then I think Wilfred comes out and starts blasting, and he
Yep.
goes, "Yo, Vash, gotta get moving, gotta get out of here." And he's like, "All right," and he runs away. And then big guy, a big guy with a big helmet with a kind of like weird skeletal face thing, chases him down.
Yeah. He's like Bane,
Yeah.
Bane level body, but he's got big minigun arms almost.
Oh yeah, he's
Um
full on like entourage of weapons in his arm on both fists.
yeah. And you're right, like it's like it's almost like there is a character who has a helmet like that in something else where it's like a glass dome with a skull inside. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a visor with it looks like a distorted image because it almost looks digitized.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty cool look actually.
Yeah.
Uh
He's
I
got
must admit.
big fans on his back or something. He's got
He does.
like weird hovering fan things.
And I believe he's also, while hailing them with bullets, yelling "Stampede."
Yeah. Vash the Stampede. uh
Grrrr.
and there's been a couple of flashback cuts to the kid again at the start where he goes, "Oh, what happens? Why does this god have to eat the sacrifices?" And mother, and behind closed doors, says, "Oh yeah, that's how it should be. That's death is like the start of life rather than the end, type thing." It's some weird cultist thing that's going on.
Yeah. So I think this is the bit where it cuts to the flashback, right? This bit, yeah.
Uh, no, I think
Or
there's
is it further on?
a bit more chasing. So Vash runs in and runs away, and Wilfred kind of trips and falls, but covers himself in a blanket, and he just bullets flying, and then he disappears
Yeah.
behind into the a wee alleyway to the side. Comes out, blasts a couple of shots in his back, and notices takes the wounds, and then notices that his wounds heal, even though he somehow managed to get in front of him at that point, and sees the
Yeah.
wounds in the back heal. Um, and then he goes, "All right, it's like that, is it?" And then he ran. Vash runs ahead and gets trapped in a grate. Big smoke happens, and the
Yep.
dude comes out, and you can see Vash because he's got like the tracker on him, so this scene doesn't do anything to his vision. Vash then shoots down a pile of pipes on top of him,
He does, yeah.
and then goes, "Oh no, you're alive, right? Don't die. You're alive."
I really I love that whole character thing where just the dichotomy of could literally kill anyone, uh feels so bad about hurting people.
Yeah,
So yeah, like yeah, properly crushes him with a bunch of stuff, and then it's like, oh my god, don't die,
yeah,
don't die, and he's like pulling rubble off of them, and he sees them kind of move a little bit, and he's like, oh thank god.
yeah. And he kind of just shrugs it off and gets up, and then Wilfred goes like, "All right, dude, you're dumb. You know, you should probably be killing this guy. He really
Yep.
wants to kill you." It's like, no, can't be doing that. And they run away from this point, and then they get away from him as he's recovering from getting up. And then
Yep.
Wilfred goes, "All right, so what's the deal? What's the story? You've been here before. This guy kind of knows you. What's the shit?" And then Vash goes, "All right, so many moons ago, I can
Yep.
there's this kid. He's overheard his parents basically talk about he's Nick sacrifice and he should be overjoyous. And then he goes, "Oh shit, I don't really like that," and runs away into the desert. And then it does a weird panning thing with the footage up and running. Slowly
Yep.
getting smaller and smaller. He runs further into the distance. Well, I don't know if he actually runs further into the distance. I think he kind of just runs on the spot and it gets further and further. It's smaller and smaller. Then he bumps into Vash.
Yep. He does.
And Vash goes, "Oh, hey, I'm looking for Roberto." And he's like, "Oh, that's me. No, your mother's looking for you. I'm here to take you away. Take you back to her." And he's like, "All right." And then they walk and talk about stuff.
Yeah, I think it's he talks about how he doesn't believe
Yeah, he doesn't believe it.
in the god,
Yeah, in the
and maybe that's why he's sick. Maybe that's why he can't get better, because he doesn't believe.
yeah, that's it. So then Vash is like, "All right, well, I'll get that medicine for you."
Yeah, I'll cure you. Don't
Uh,
you worry about it.
It's more like, if you need any help, I'll be there instead of the god. Don't need to believe anything.
Yeah. Yep.
And he gives him back to
And
them.
he makes him he makes him a promise.
Yeah,
He promises him that he'll be back to help him.
yeah, and he gives it back to his mother. And then I think this point, Wilfred butts in and goes, "Right, I understand now," and then kind of goes out and blasts the dude again.
He does say, "I get it. You made you can't. What is it? It's basically, your mouth wrote a check your ass couldn't cash." Is essentially what he says, and he's like, "Yeah, you fucked up."
Yeah. And then he they kind of break up, and the guy comes around the corner, finds them again, and they run away. And then I think he has the flashback.
Yeah, this is of the kind of, obviously, like, we haven't quite linked why there is a massive Bane looking cyborg type dude, and they're saying it's a tiny child. So yeah, we kind of go back to him and his mum. Is it him coming home?
Oh no, I think he gets sent to the destination to get sacrificed. He goes,
Does.
"All right, let's do this." So
Yes.
it's like a
He's going to be a He's going to be a sacrifice for God's blessing.
yeah. So he goes up there, and then meets the doctor guy from episode 3. And
3. Yeah, the dude with the big robots and the tiny girl.
yeah, and the tiny girl, yeah. And so the tiny girl's there still.
She is.
And he goes, "Oh, are you God?" And he goes, "Oh, you can make it."
Yeah,
Like,
actually, some of the dialogue here is quite sharp. I like it.
yeah. And then some robot type people just kind of inject him with some fluid, and as he's going down, he's like, "Is the girl a sacrifice too?" And then she kind of like opens her mouth, and you can see she's got some fangs of some sort.
Yep.
She's got something there. He goes, "Oh no, child, I'm an angel."
I friggin' loved that. It's so good. It's so good.
And yeah, and then you get knocked out. And then I think Meryl and Roberto stumble upon a picture of Vash in his house.
Yes, with
Or
a tiny cat child.
yeah. Um or is it still in the flashback where you get to see
No, that's. I think we need to get to the part where we flash back to the kid coming home, and it's after that I think they come into the house. So yeah, the kid gets injected with the stuff, and he starts to like bane out, which is pretty harrowing scene.
Oh
And yeah, he's it's pretty gross.
He's on a bench at this point.
Is he not like?
Oh yeah. So he gets knocked out and taken to a lab, and then he's strapped to a bench, and the guy's like, "Well, we've got this drug. It's going to cure your illness, so you're not going to die, but it will like be immensely painful, and if you survive, your body will be completely changed."
He sells it well.
Oh, he sells it. Sells as good as I would. You won't die, but there's all these other side effects that might kill you. So at least you won't die from the illness you have. Is how he ends it, and then he injects it into him, and then he does do the vein morphine.
Like all his, literally, it's like there's chest bursters trying to come out of his body,
multiple
all over. And he like bulks right up.
Yeah. And then this kind of see him, it's just kind of like in one of those jars, and it's like, oh, we've heightened your emotions, so your burning rage will make you do better. Also, he did scream Vash at the point where his body is getting changed.
He did. He was in the moment where he was scared. He didn't even ask for his own mother. He yelled for Vash, which is even more heartbreaking.
I mean,
but it's rough.
Yeah, but the mother did like offer him to a god.
Give him away.
Yeah,
that's true. But I kind of like the bit where they were saying is like, we've heightened your emotions, and what is he says something like, because hatred is a very powerful fuel, or all the fuel he'll need to do what's needed, sort of thing.
Better than any venom we can ever supply.
Yeah, it's real good. Some good sort of scenery chewing dialogue in this one. It's good stuff.
Yeah. And then so I think he then kind of breaks free because it said, "Oh, this guy has lasted the longest ever in this experiment."
Does
5
he break
years.
free?
I don't know. He certainly gets home. And
he got wait, we hear that this is genuinely quite horrifying.
It's pretty bad. So he's basically
like
his mother.
It's just the mum in the house, isn't it?
Mother's in the house, and he hears a knock on the door. Knock, knock. Who's there? Mom, it's me. I'm home. And it kind
Mama.
And it kind of does a distorted voice as well because
it's really rough. Like, it reminded me a lot of I don't know if you've ever watched Annihilation.
I think it did. Is that the one where they go over into the alien kind of world?
Yeah, into the yes, yeah.
It's like a
the bit in that where, like, it's basically all about like biology twisting itself together and sort of forming new. And I think that there's a bear that kills one of their team, and she screams obviously as it's killing her, but then the bear screams like her.
Oh yeah, shit!
It's just horrifying.
I think I do remember that. Yeah, so
it's a real rough scene.
Yeah, so he kind of knocks and he breaks down the door because she didn't open it, and big hulking monsters appeared in front of her. And she's just made a face of horror. It's like, it's me, Ma. Don't make that face. Don't make that face. And I think he then just like kills her.
I think that is, in essence, what we're led to believe, because it does say, like, obviously, as they said, his emotions are heightened, and at that point, I imagine it's just frustration and anger at being feared, and then just, she's gone now.
Yeah,
I think if memory serves right, actually, I think he is released back out. I don't think he escapes. I think he's released.
Yeah, no. Yeah, possibly. I don't think that it's actually were shown. There's a lot of kind of cutscenes in this and that. Cause,
it does jump about a bit.
Because Wilfred gets injured. because he attacks the dude, and then the guy uses some wind power to blow him
to
into
blow him back.
the wall, and he kind of like, um,
I think just before this, it's the bit with Meryl and Roberto going into like that after the flashback of him bursting down the door.
mhm,
They find the burst down door
mhm.
and they see that photo of Vash with the young kid,
Yeah.
like as a baby.
Mhm.
I think that one of the interesting things about this is where I think he says it's been like this for a while, 25 years at least, I'd say.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, he
That's
knows.
very interesting.
He knows a lot of stuff. That Roberto.
Well, it just started me thinking of like, we all assume, like, I guess we assume as part of this is that, Vash is of a certain age
Mm-hmm.
and has been around the block a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, how old are you?
How old is
How
it?
long have you been here?
Oh,
How many
Vash.
generations of people? Yeah, just because like it's never really questioned as such.
No, it never was. Even the original series, it wasn't. Till a
No,
lot later, you know that answer.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even if it was.
but it's interesting that you don't really question it at all. But I think that's the first time while I've been watching it, I was just like, oh, yeah, 25 years, and that's 25 years from when he burst through the door, and we know that he was there for like 5 years in the lab,
Mm-hmm.
and then we know that Vash was the same age before he was in the lab.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah. Well, it's all.
It's like 30 years ago.
Yeah. So the baby is Rolo.
Yeah.
He looks like a dog. He's got like a patch on his eye.
He does. But
Uh,
yeah, they find that, and then you're right. We cut to the fight scene where Wolfwood gets injured and he's knocked back, and you hear sort of a fairly good crunch. I think he's crushed by his own cross, actually, which probably doesn't help considering that thing probably weighs a fucking ton.
yeah.
Um,
Also, Vash is kind of upset about that. But no, I think that's
yes.
maybe for the last flashback, and then you go to
Is it
Meryl.
before the last
Because
flashback?
then from the Meryl
Okay.
with the picture, I think they're now seem to be climbing up a hill or a roof on a rooftop somewhere.
Oh, on that sort of ramped roof.
Yeah,
And
and
Wolfwood is kind of
crawling.
dragging himself along.
Yeah, chasing him. And he got the dude, and the dude then like just basically full on gets chokehold on Vash and slams him against another wall, and he's
Yep.
like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't be there for you, Rolo. I'm sorry, I couldn't do that." Type thing. After like
I,
struggling for a while.
I actually think some of the fight sequences in this look really good. Like the movement and stuff is pretty fantastic. I don't know that I could do it justice to talk about it. I think you'd be best to watch it. I must admit though, like we always talk about those moments of like just audible gasping.
Uh
This next moment is like a proper audible gasp from me.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, as soon as they started talking about the kid, because it was like for a while I was thought the kid was, some other part of the story, some other way in the world, and it's going to get somehow mixed up in this thing
Yeah.
in present time. But when it turned to a flashback, I was like, oh, I'll be that dude then.
Yep.
But like
Oh, it's less that realization and more how it
how they keep do.
comes to an end.
Yeah, because Vash can see through the helmet and sees the face of
Yeah.
the monster, and it was Rolo, at least 30 years older. It's actually
Yeah,
aged his face as well, which
it
is pretty
aged
good.
him.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
pretty good because
Yeah,
I should.
it should.
So yeah, and then I think because obviously he was like, "Phil, I'm going to kill Vash," who's like super thingy, but because Vash kind of showed compassion, he certainly
It he stops.
He stops.
Like, yeah, he's not like committed to putting him down and stopping choking him. He just hasn't murdered him yet.
Yeah. But he was like, I'm sorry, you've been alone this amount of time, type thing. Anyway, so, and then Wilfred was like, fuck's sake, enough of this, type thing. And then gets a vial and out. He gets, like, spits out his cigarette and gets a vial or something and breaks the glass.
Bites the top off it,
Yeah. And then shoots Roll right in the head with his big massive beam gun.
It genuinely shocked me, that bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see, like I didn't think Rolo was coming out of this all right. Like that to be very clear,
Mm-hmm.
I was fairly confident he would not live the end of the episode, but I also did not expect for Wolfwood to just take matters entirely into his own hands and just be like, God damn it, and just take the shot himself.
Yeah, he's certainly a bit more direct than Vash in these things. And then Vash is like, no, Rolo! And then it was like a whole, I don't know, because the glass shattered on the helmet from the blast.
Yeah.
And then when he fell down, and he kind of did like the whole Die Hard, crashing into the air. But I watched it there and I was like, oh shit, that's Lawnmower Man. Or no, Robocop. Might be in Robocop's face.
Robocop.
Could be Robocop's face that's falling back. And then
he just
thumps into the ground.
Smashes into the ground.
And then
we catch up with him on the ground as well, and Vash, everyone is now together again, and Vash is sort of knelt down next to him.
Mm-hmm.
Almost it's like, well, you'll be all right. You're gonna be okay. You're not dead. You're fine.
You're not dead. Don't.
You're not dead.
You're not dead, Rolo. You're not dead. You're not dead. And then Wilfred's like, dude, that's a corpse.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like, just zero compassion. Zero. It's like, what you're looking at there is a corpse. It's like, huh. All right. Don't sugarcoat it at all. Don't try to be nice about it.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. And of course, Vash does not take too kindly to that. Yeah. And just kind of immediately goes to the point of, why did you have to kill him? Why did you do that?
Yeah, you don't have the right.
Who gave you the right to? He's like, the kid was a monster and needed to be stopped. And he's like, what right is it of yours to choose that, like to do that? And he's like, well, he said, and what is it he says? He says, I did it out of compassion or kindness.
Yeah, he did it.
Mercy.
He did it out of mercy, because and Vash is a liar, which is worse. He said.
Yeah. He's like, this is your fault. You failed him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this was what was best.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I don't know. It feels like, I don't know. I almost get the feeling that the kind of way this is leading is that he knew that that's how this had to end, and he didn't have it in him to end it himself.
Oh, Vash.
Yeah. And he's frustrated and angry that Wolfwood seemingly just was able to just do that without any hesitation to do what he knew deep down was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I think it's more than just being about like him being angry that that the kid had to die. It's more than just that. It's more this kind of this. I suppose it's like a positive thing for the character, but yeah, like it's a bit of a character fault is that he's so compassionate to everyone, even to a fault. Like, even though he knows what's best right now is like this guy's suffering.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is to do with me and what I've done.
Yeah. So this show is just going to be a journey of him actually being able to deal with complex emotions that's inside him, essentially, because
Yeah,
he's got to
it's
deal with
good.
his brother, who's like a psychopath.
Oh man, sure does.
Uh, uh, and
Sure does.
he just doesn't know how to do it because they're all like, "Oh, you're still the same, and so are you, but you're still the same," type thing. You'll never do what I can do. Um,
Yeah.
so
Can we just discuss for a second though how I how really great Johnny Young Bosch is as Vash? Like the performance is brilliant. It's such a good dub.
yeah, he's pretty good. He's certainly laying into it in a different way than he did previously.
I did read a lot of the comments on the Crunchyroll page for for this episode, and a lot of people complaining about how there's like Vash is nothing like he was in the original. There's no comic relief anymore. It's all too serious. It's like, well, like if you think about a lot of what the show actually is, it's kind of serious.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot of not good stuff, and I think there is comic relief. I just think it's more sparing.
I mean, certainly Wilfred is adding the flavor of that in. Like, well, he got like completely mauled in the last episode at the
Well,
start.
his introduction episode, there's quite a bit of comic relief, but I would argue this one has none,
No,
which I think is like, fine.
but
It's a very serious episode. The third episode has none because there's no room for it.
yeah.
Uh, the first two episodes, I think, have quite a bit of back and forth around comedy.
Oh yeah. Well,
Um,
Vash is very nonchalant about like, oh, I'm just hanging here, and you
yeah,
what? Well, let's go here. We'll discuss a bit of stuff here. It's
and then what's his name? The guy and his grandson, Thingy and Joseph.
Nevada.
Nevada. Like their original thing was quite amusing. Like they were just kind of ridiculous. But like I understand that it's definitely not anywhere near as funny as the original.
Ah,
But and also a lot of people complaining about Vash's new look.
yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. It's too puffy, too trendy,
I
too
I will say
in the era.
I think it is one of the best examples of modernization of a design I've seen.
Yeah, I suppose, but uh, I don't know. I mean, his original was like a red cowboy suit type thing. It was like red leather
It was
thing.
a red duster with a high collar.
Yeah, and didn't look very cowboyish in a desert scene. Where this one kind of
Hey,
looks like
it,
some weird spaceman in
it
a
the
desert planet.
I love the old look. Yeah, I love the old look. It's a good look. I might argue I think that this is a better look.
Oh, man.
Not like, hey, hot take, and I know it's an unpopular opinion. I just think like credit where credit's due. It's definitely not a great place to be as an art team coming to try and redesign an already established character for a more modern take. God knows I've seen a million approaches to this that have never worked out very well.
Mhm.
Like modernization for design is a really tough thing to do, and it's just one of the only times I feel it's like, you know what, you absolutely nailed the aesthetic you were going for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it does work out because Knives has also kind of got a similar jacket and shit with his
He also looks really good.
millions of
Like the
knives.
design that they've done for Knives is good too.
You only really got to see knives in one episode in the original for two
Very true.
seconds when he got punched in the face and then the thing gone.
God, I'm glad they're making more of him in this one.
So
I think that's us pretty much at the end of this episode, though, right?
yeah, that's it. They kind of end in like disarray over different opinions on who has the right to kill and who has the right to save. Because he's like, "Oh, you're so." What was it? What's the word? I'm thinking like Wilfred's like, "You're too naive slash." Oh, fucking.
Does this episode end with a voiceover referring to Wolfwood as the Punisher? I
Oh,
think it does. There's a
yeah.
scene where they're driving away from the village. It's actually, I should point out as well, the soundtrack. Well, that the car is driving away
Uh huh.
from the town
Uh huh.
is like amazing.
So
It's so good.
no, so it does actually cut away to the doctor's lab, and
Oh,
oh,
that's right.
the beast,
Zazie,
Zazie the
Zazie the Beast.
Zazie the beast is informing the doctor and the little kid that their one of their failures
That
has
Rolo's dead.
passed.
We
And
should point out as well. It's quite funny. He's like, well, you know, better that someone else killed it for you before it failed on its own.
oh yeah, that was it.
It's kind of a quite underhanded little dig there.
Yeah, that was it. That's the little kid.
Yeah,
Lady, she's not doesn't hold back. And then it's just, oh yeah, but Wilfred did it for me anyway. So, and then he goes,
yeah,
no, not Wilfred, the Punisher.
yeah. I've never heard that before, so
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it's called. So in the original one, right? I believe Vash did fought this character before, and this was the character that he was forced to kill himself. The first person he kills in
oh,
the show, because there was a big bounty
oh,
hunter, and he
interesting.
came after him, and he couldn't take him down, and he had a big like orange face glass shield thing, uh,
Yeah,
and he had to kill him to essentially save, I think, Million and what's her name? Uh, or some had
Meryl.
yeah, Meryl. I don't know. I always go to Millie first. Anyway,
Yeah,
with her passive minigun. That was always because I think this
yes.
is where she actually breaks out with her minigun. Well, in that old episode, and it's just like
I think you're right.
it's a passive minigun, but it's like big metal bolts getting flung at you rather than bullets, and it's like
It's interesting.
that's not going to not kill you.
I think the interesting thing about that is like I think there's real value in character building and having him have to make that choice like they have in the original.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's another side to that, which is the frustration in not having been able to make the decision and having someone else to step in and make it for you is another side to that I think is pretty cool as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
how do you rate this one?
yeah, it's certainly better than the last one. Uh,
Yeah,
I think it'll be a 7 towards an 8. Obviously, higher,
yeah.
it's definitely
I,
higher up.
I'm back. I'm back up on an 8. I
Yeah,
think this one is very redeeming of the. This one felt better paced. I know it felt a bit jumpy, but I appreciated the kind of narrative that they were trying to weave with this one.
yeah,
Whereas the last one just felt a bit rushed. So
yeah. It was like we got introduced the character for this guy appears because he's there. uh,
we're on a timer here, people.
yeah, and we need to make the more interesting than him just getting whacked by a trailer, which happens in the first 5 seconds. uh, anyway, so
Classic.
what I say? So when Vash did it in the old episode, shoot the guy and kills him. He goes on like I think he leaves the party and just disappears and hides in a village somewhere, not wanting to do it,
Yeah.
and he was like fully depressed. Because they say like like you said, there were comments there, where it was, oh, it's too serious, and where's the fun and lightheartedness?
Yep.
Even the old one changed.
It got pretty serious.
It had plenty of seriousness in it, and there was
Yep.
maybe a wee crack of a joke somewhere in it. Like Millie would be there, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's all right. Amanda's big and stupid," because that was her character basically. But
Yep.
I'm bleeding everyone more truly than and Vash does in this one. In fact, Vash seems to have like half melded her personality into this one more than last one, where he
But
was just a goofy pervy guy because he was like well into the
yeah,
ladies.
I think like I appreciate that they have kind of made it more driven in a certain direction. The thing about the original Trigun, I always felt that is that it never really, never really came together very much in terms of a story uh, until maybe the last 4 or 5 episodes.
Well, then I think most anime in that time, I don't. I think they must have like a mandate. It's like, oh, we can't be telling stories. It's got to be goofy. Cartoons are goofy. Let's do goofy,
Yeah,
and
I,
that was it.
I mean, to be clear, I don't mean to disparage the original Trigun at all. I still enjoy it. I remember enjoying it the last time I watched it, and I doubt that would be I would feel any differently having watched it now.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that it is just fascinating to see a different side and interpretation of the characters, particularly one I think that is done well. I think it would be a very different story, in my opinion, if they were not treating the material of the characters with any reverence, and it just felt shallow and a name drop for the show. But this reviews well generally. Like it's a very well rated show, and from what I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I couldn't argue with that.
Yeah.
It feels like they're being very deliberate about the choices they're making. They're trying to be very deliberate in the character decisions and personalities. Yeah, I generally like this. I think it's been Trigun is one of the ones I would probably be less likely to watch of my own accord now.
Yeah. The
I'm
originals.
more likely to. Well, like I'd be more likely to watch something more horror-y or sci-fi-y, or thrillery.
This
So
this is 100% sci-fi. He's like on an alien
it's
planet. Yeah.
this is a very this is how should I put this?
Brave Star.
This is not it's not contemporary sci-fi. If it was contemporary sci-fi, I'd be more likely to watch it.
Yeah, I suppose.
So I'm trying to think of a good example of that
Uh,
in anime.
contemporary sci-fi.
Yeah,
Um,
I've said it, and now I.
now you're trying to think what contemporary sci-fi is. So,
Oh, Gantz. Gantz is contemporary sci-fi.
I suppose the answer would be yeah. You looked at your shelf in there and went,
I had to look at my shelf there and go, it's like you've seen these before. Elfin Lied as well is like a quite sci-fi-ish,
that's
but more horror-y,
yeah.
I guess.
And then
But then you've got stuff like Death Note that's kind of horror thriller, and
yeah,
but then occasionally, I do like the more fantastical stuff. And this is more grounded for sure, but I'm also not a big Western person, and there's
oh
definitely kind of
Western
an
vibe.
air to that.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure. Like, same as like Cowboy Bebop, which has its very Western thing, but I feel like they treat it in a certain way that I can vibe with most of the time
that's
in these. So
that's contemporary sci-fi.
to a degree, actually, yeah,
I mean,
that's kind of closer.
because like you're in a ship flying around between Mars and Saturn and the rings and everything all the time.
Yeah, I guess you're that. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, anything where I think is centric of Earth,
Mhm.
I think I'm more inclined to be engaged with.
All right. So as long as it's in, so not being flying around in space.
I think like I wouldn't say like I'm more of a Star Trek person than I am a Star Wars person.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And that I feel like that's the line. I don't dislike Star Wars, but Star Trek is more where my thing would be.
You doomed us, Steve. You doomed us. You've categorized us as Trekkies.
I am I am far more a Trekkie than I am a Warzer.
What?
Is that what it's called?
Fucking. Hope not. That's as shit as fucking. Fucking. You know me. I don't. I don't know.
You don't like Star Wars?
I don't like Star Wars. I just don't like things overdone, and Disney overdoes things by far too much.
Like
Star Wars,
100%.
like Star Wars,
Yeah.
and maybe Marvel. Maybe
If
Marvel
you'd
should have
like
stopped.
to, if you want to drown in content, Disney's got your back.
Yeah.
You can just drown in average to mediocre content
Yeah.
every day of your life if you want.
Yeah, I mean they do some good shows like Gravity Falls.
Oh, for real?
Fuck, what was that one?
There was Owl House.
Owl House. That's
was
the one.
pretty good.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, Owl House. And I think there's Amphibia that's meant to be alright too, but I haven't actually watched it.
it's. I've watched a few episodes. It was Star and the Forces of Evil Disney as well, because that was quite good.
No, I think that was in Cartoon Network, but I believe it's on
Was that?
Stars or whatever it is they bought over.
Oh, so it got picked up. Okay, that's why I've watched it on Disney Plus then, probably. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like that too. I think the issue I find with the Disney stuff is, every now and then there's a gem, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like particularly for the Marvel stuff. I was kind of with them right up until the end of the whole Thanos stuff, and then I just kind of didn't care anymore.
Yeah, because it was a good ending. Now they got to one up
Yeah.
Thanos, and Thanos has eliminated like half the population of the universe by snapping his fingers. And it's like, how do they one up on him? And where's it going? Everyone's kind of like done now.
Always a good party conversation is to tell people that I kind of agreed with Thanos.
I mean, yeah, it would help things, but I mean, it didn't work for China, did it?
Well,
Now
right,
they just have like overburdened male population, is it?
I don't know.
'Cause
Same as Japan, I think, as well, and I think a couple of other countries actually. Now that I think about it,
China had like the whole one baby mandate for.
Oh, the single child policy.
Yeah, I don't know how long that was enforced. I think
it started in the 80s, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so there it was like our lifetime, and then it ended like maybe a decade ago.
Yeah, but the thing about the whole Thanos thing is, right, is people will say is like, well, why didn't you just like snap his fingers and give everyone, because it was all about resources, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, there's just not enough resources for everyone. So why didn't you just give them all resources? And the answer remains the same. Because giving people more resources does not teach them a lesson.
No.
If you eliminate half the people in the galaxy, that teaches you a lesson.
Thanos is bad and should be defeated, and then everything should be reverted. So then there's the good things, like, you know how they eliminated and brought them back like 5 years later?
Who? Thanos?
No, the people.
Oh yeah.
And it is shown that they do come back in like the next Spider-Man movie, or the Spider-Man movie
Yep.
that he's in. It's like, oh yeah, these guys are back now. Like, that's rough, because if you think about it, like, they're all just kind of suddenly reappearing. I assume in the same same place that they disappeared in,
but 5 years later,
potentially without the vehicle that they're in being there. So if they're on a boat, they're in the middle of the sea and dead. On a plane, they're just falling to their deaths. And
oh wait, did they all? No, I don't think they all did that, because I'm pretty sure Spider-Man didn't come back on that alien planet.
Yeah, he did.
Because did he?
Because then what's his name? Opened the portal, and they all flew in at the last battle.
No, but
yeah, they all all these portals appear, and they all have like the thing, and then they have like the all the women heroes getting like a wee bit. It was
Yeah.
like, oh look, there's a women hero, and it's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And they
I like the characters and their contributions before that. Thank you.
yeah, it's like okay. I mean, it's good that they kind of like gave time to them in the sense, but it was like
Hey,
it's
the female heroes in the Marvel films are kind of great in a lot of instances.
they're
I just don't need them all grouped together yelling woman power
well,
as they charge forward. Which I should also point out, every time I watch that movie, my wife goes, I fucking hate this scene. It's really dumb.
right then when they did the ooh.
Yeah, it's like this is really stupid. Like they were all great. Why do I need this? I don't need this.
They don't need to highlight it in that way. They did it in a bad way. I mean, like for example,
Oh, they really did.
there's things that do well, and I feel things are thrown in your face in bad ways. Like so, obviously, there's other like kids cartoons that's kind of teaching about how people are different in ways and that. Like you got Kipo. It's all about kind of like, oh, she's a creature in the mutant world and fighting that,
Oh,
and now she
is that the one on Netflix?
yeah, that's on Netflix. So she's like a half mutant.
Yeah, I think my son has watched some of that.
I liked it. It was a good show, but it kind of I don't know. And I suppose they did it in a way which is actually all right. My mind is that the black kid, the kid, it's not people with them. The other human, it
Uh huh.
goes just turns out she people's getting like kind of interested. Oh look, another human boy. That's pretty cool. And then she does something for his birthday, which was I think it was maybe like March the 14th because it's um is that like the speed of a parsec or something? It was like something to do with parsec date.
Okay.
Um, and so it was like that, and that was her birthday, and they did a wee nice thing to do, and they go on the roller coaster, and Kiefel's like, oh, all right, cool, let's go in for the move, and he goes, I'm gay, and it's like, okay,
Okay.
all right, and then I felt it was like, oh, that's another token gay character in it, but they expand it in later seasons where there's another
That's the thing.
gay couple coming,
Like,
and
I really like it when casts and characters are diverse because it's interesting.
Mhm.
I just hate it when the thing that makes them different becomes their only identity.
Yeah,
Like they're people in their own right. Surely that they're more than just their like it doesn't need to be their defining character trait.
yeah,
And I think like more often than not when there's like great consideration given to characters and stuff like that, that it's better. It's so much it's just so much more. So it's always I always find it really disappointing and almost a little bit lazy when it's like we have a very diverse cast, but as much we've thought about that in that we know that we have a gay character and that's really as much thought as we were willing to give to that. It's like you're not going to flesh them out. You're not going to make them interesting. You're not going to make them a person.
Mhm.
You're making them just their sexuality, and that doesn't really feel fair.
yeah,
Uh, I think it's really difficult, obviously, because it's such a sensitive topic with people these days, and I get that. Like it's hard, I think, to
right in.
to feel yeah, like I think it's important. It's important where like people people who are different to you and I who have it very easy as just kind of I suppose straight white males.
Yeah,
Um, there are people different to us,
mhm.
and I have never really given it a second thought. Certainly as a kid, you know, with different characters of different ethnicities and different genders or just different characters in general. But it seems obviously that because it's become such a, I think, a frustration point for people who see it as an attack on normality by being so inclusive.
Yeah.
It just becomes really heightened, and it enters news cycles, and people complain about it, and it's like, well, is it a problem? Is it a problem of bad writing? Because I'll argue that point till the bitter end.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you maybe just homophobic or racist? Is that your problem? Is that the issue you have?
There's plenty of these things. Like I say, it's just
Yeah.
it's nothing. But like that character, she was obviously more than just that one aspect. It's just that,
and that's good.
They kind of stopped like the teenage hormones things. So yeah, I'm actually fair men. Bye. And then
I think that's
say friends.
Yeah.
And then he met someone later in the later season.
Yeah, there was a huge uproar about the new Disney movie where the younger kid in it, the kid in it is gay.
Mm-hmm.
And like has a crush on one of the male friends in the group. And it's like, oh, this is all part of the agenda. It's like, what agenda specifically? What do you like? Do we have is there a gay manifesto to go with the agenda? Because I'd like to read it to see what's the end goal. Is it to normalize this thing in media where you don't need to care about it as much anymore? Because that seems like almost a noble goal at this point.
Well, I mean, it will happen eventually, and it probably should be happening more getting forced. Because look at remember back in the day, it's like, oh, there's the token black guy. And then but again, that's kind of normalized now, because it's been there. But the problem with that was, and generally they stay alive longer than some of the white people.
To be fair, yeah, that was a very big horror movie trope of the 80s for sure. That then got made fun of in Scary Movie quite a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think that the problem was, it's in an effort to be inclusive. A lot of the time, it was done with laziness. It was done as like, oh, this is a box tick for us. It's like, we have this now, and it's like, well, yeah, but you forgot to make them a person.
Yeah.
You know, like that's kind of critical.
Yeah.
And I think like that. I think that's the thing we're seeing more of now. That I really like is that. Well, I mean, even if you think about it, like obviously, like the X-Men, I think is a big thing about being accepted for being different. Obviously, it's done through a bunch of white people, but
not all of them.
It's just not all of them, but yeah.
There's the one token black guy, Bishop.
Well, but again, every character though had their own story and had their own past, and like
I'm not saying the night show.
Well, even then, like his backstory and characterization was really good. I found him a really compelling and fascinating person. And
Bishop.
One thing that I never even yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like never even for a moment was like, oh yeah, it's like he's the token character. It's like, no, he's just like a cool character who's a time traveler. This is awesome.
He's a badass, man. I like that guy. He was like another cowboy motif, though. You had like a shotgun, energy shotgun thing because you can't fire real bullets in kids' cartoons.
Yeah, that's right.
And he had like his bandana around his neck because he was like there, but he still wore the X-Men suit underneath.
Of course,
he had like the weird X-Men suit. But yeah, he was a cool character, man. But like, it's the only. Oh, and then you had Jubilee, I suppose, was the token nation.
See, I never even considered like there was a second. It was like, oh yeah, there's an Asian character. It's like, nope, did not think about that. I was like, that's Jubilee. Cool.
Yeah. That's it. I was just thinking, oh wait, yeah, we had Jubilee, and I can't. No.
I suppose you had Hank.
Oh,
Hank was blue.
it has Storm. What am I on about? Storm.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
See, this is my point. This is good writing.
Yeah.
Is the part where like I don't for a second question anything because it's a good cast of characters.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going through my head and thinking of which characters was in that 90s cartoon. And you had them. Um, that's Cyclops. There's the Russian. Jubilee. Wolverine.
There's
Cyclops.
2 blue people, 3 blue people.
Oh, yeah, Mystique.
Beast,
Beast, yep.
Nightcrawler.
Oh, Nightcrawler, yeah. Who's meant to be Mystique's son?
Yeah, he was German though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always meant to be German. Uh, yeah, I mean, to be honest, man,
It's a good show.
Star Trek, the original series, was a very inclusive show. And wasn't.
It was very progressive, and yet apparently, having listened to a bunch of people talk about those episodes, still, by today's standards, you're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but you're talking about it was made in the 60s?
I know.
And
Yeah,
60s
like,
where the women's burn bras for better rights in America and shit like that.
They definitely were a more inclusive show, and actually, I think like even similar, like going forward into like the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager, like with Janeway, like having a female captain who is not only like properly respected but revered
Yeah.
as one of the great characters.
I believe.
I don't know, just
Yeah, it's good writing. And then I don't know, like I say, I don't know where writing's gone. I've not really watched any of the newer stuff. I didn't like Discovery. It just
I liked. I only watched the first season and I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay.
I just didn't think it was Star Trek.
No, and
And
I'm okay with that because like you've got to try something different at some point.
Yeah, I was more. It wasn't Star Trek, but like, did it really need to take the name? Could it just not be like called Discovery or something like that?
Did you watch Picard?
I watched one episode of that. The first episode, I was like, "All right, yeah." No,
Season 1's really good,
yeah.
and season 2 is okay.
I think season 3 is going to be getting better.
I have only watched the first episode of season 3, but I'm told it's pretty good.
Yeah.
First season of Picard though is definitely worth a watch if you ever do get round to it. The second season is fine. What I will say though is John Delancey's in it, and it's always worth a watch if John Delancey's in it. So.
Oh, he was cute, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's real good.
Yeah. I don't know. I keep listening to other people on there pick apart these things, but then he picks apart a lot of the Star Trek episodes and how stupid it is and stuff.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
It's
I don't know.
It's right.
For every person who enjoys a thing, there's a person who doesn't, and I'm all for pretty much these days. As much as my time is limited, I would rather go into it thinking my own opinion, like taking my own opinions away from it, than taking someone else's. Unless like the general consensus is just dog shit.
Like,
I'll go with the crowd on that.
I need to watch Velma.
I kind of feel like maybe we should do. I realize we've now been talking for about 20 minutes about things that aren't Trigun. Maybe we should do a season of Velma. It's not anime, but
yeah, could do. But no, I just hear like everyone's just berating it's a Scooby Doo spin off without Scooby Doo in it.
Well, you talked about Ryan George before we came on.
Yeah.
The guy who does the pitch meetings.
Yeah.
He did the pitch meeting of season 1 of Velma. And it's like, so who is this for? It's like people. It's not for people who like Scooby Doo. No, they're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
So, So, and it's not for children. No, It's not for the people old enough to enjoy Scooby. No. Who is this for? You're like, exactly.
No one.
And then I think he says like the phrase is like, "Are you familiar with the? Are you familiar with the phrase hate watching?"
Yeah, he knows something about that. Yeah. Oh,
And then it's like, oh, it's been renewed for season 2 because all of the people who watched it hated it, but they watched it. So
yeah. So that's one reason why I maybe don't want to watch it. It's going
I
to get
kind of
some.
don't think I.
It's going to get some weird cult following on it.
Oh man,
It's like look at this show. It's dog shit. It's nothing about the original content ever. But like the best bit, right? I found like someone did like we skit on it of like where it was like Velma meets Scooby Doo. I shared it in our chat a couple weeks back.
Oh, I must have missed it.
As Velma finds Scooby Doo, and then she goes, "Wait, I think I've done this before. It's not quite right." And then Scooby Doo kind of stands up on his hind legs and goes, "Oh God, every time you kids always remember, I just want it to be simple and that. And I've been rewriting this multiple times. And I think it was a weird ass creepy thing. And I think if Velma ended like that, it'd be
That'd be amazing.
a mass cult. It's like, okay, that's fine. It's getting rewritten because Scooby Doo wants to recreate the love of the original 60s cartoons or get that feeling back that's now dead to him. And
to be fair, that's the reason the first Scooby Doo live action movie was so popular, was because they made Scrappy Doo the bad guy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Immediately when I saw that, I was like, you know what, this movie's all right.
Yeah,
I've always hated Scrappy Doo, and yeah, you've sold this. Congratulations.
Well, let's end this on another Harvey Birdman reference because that's what we did last week.
Yeah,
and it's like I think it was the first Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law episode. Oh no, it must be the Scooby Doo one because obviously the Scooby Doo one where
that's not the first one. The first one's the Johnny Quest one.
Yeah, and it's also the weird pilot one because the animation is completely different. But it's like right at the end, they go, "Oh, we solved the mystery. It's this. This was the dude," type thing, and then I think Scrappy Doo's there, and he gets picked up by Avenger, which is Harry Birdman's bird. Yeah, just takes it away, and then I think a few other episodes later or something, Avengers making a nest.
Is it, they're not bones in the nest?
I don't know.
Or his dog collar.
It might be dog collar. I thought it was just him KO'd in the nest. I think that was the Peanut. That must have been like season 2 because I think Peanut was there.
Peanut.
No, Peanut did come in season 1. But anyway,
that Peanut that reference to was that a fatty grunt is referenced in my house almost every day.
Why who?
Is it the was that a fatty grunt? Just that has been seared in my brain forever. Quality. Anyway, you've done it. You've managed to listen to some talk of anime and then a bunch of other stuff. This is Who's That Anime, which is an anime podcast, which can be found anywhere where good podcasts can be found. Our home is at www.anchor.fm/Who's That Anime. We have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Who's That Anime, where we post up the latest episodes and the occasional anime meme. We have a Discord channel that you can find in the show notes. And also, Colin painstakingly puts together video versions of these episodes that are put on the YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com and search for @Who's That Anime, all one word, you should be taken directly to the top search for that. I did check that, and it does seem to work, so the ats are good. Colin, will it be episode. Will we be caught up?
Yeah. Yep. I
Yeah.
posted episode 4 the day after our last episode.
Lovely. So yeah, we're back to normal service.
Yeah.
Episode will release on YouTube at the same time. So that'll be episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
Colin and I also like to play video games. Colin likes to do so at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. You can find a decent sized archive of content for both of those on YouTube if you search for the channels Couchfuel, which I believe is just at Couchfuel. I think I changed that one. May not have.
Should be. He manages my YouTube channel.
I do. Yeah. And I don't think I'm at Hail Payman. So just search for Hail Payman and you'll find me.
Yeah. So here's the thought, Steve. We've got
shoot.
I believe Sega released a game called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
You did mention this, yes.
We should really play that soon.
I would like to play that.
Then we may talk about
to find out who did it.
Who did it? Oh, who murdered Sonic the Hedgehog?
Oh, we need to find out who did it.
Oh, it was Amy Rose.
Shit.
She's got that big mullet, man.
he was suspiciously flat and blood everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, just before we end it, did you watch the new Sonic show that came out on Netflix?
What was it called? Sonic Prime?
Yeah, Sonic Prime. Yeah.
I didn't. My son watched it and he said it was quite good.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It's a nice take. He goes and multiverses it.
Different humor, I think, to Boom.
Oh,
I grew to appreciate the humor in Boom quite a lot.
Humor in Boom is like spot on trolling itself.
Oh well, I infinitely knew it was a show that I was going to love when I saw Knuckles try to look at something and read it, and then he went, "Oh," and put his glasses on and looked at it again. He went, "Oh, that's right, I can't read."
I love the fact that it's in one episode where the reference the glitch from the Sonic Boom games.
Oh, the pause glitch, the jumping one.
The instant,
my god,
the infinite jump thing, and Knuckles.
Where it shows the pause menu in the show.
And he just like flies into the air.
I think it does actually show the pause. I'm pretty sure I found someone on YouTube who posted that scene. It's like all of this is in the episode.
Yeah. And then there was also there's one where Sonic the Hedgehog somehow I think gets run over or something, and it's like in bed and bandages in some weird creepy guy's place, and he's on about Sonic fanfic and stuff like that. And it's like, oh well, it was on point, man. Sonic Boom it's just
good shit.
Good shit. Anyway, that's us. We finished. We've talked about a lot of other shit other than Trigun. We'll catch you same place, same time next week. Right.
Bye all.
Bye. Bye.
Peace out.